Announcing the commencement of the first purge.
I want you to change the world, and don't think that this is going to happen peacefully or you can do it alone. We need to kill the rich. You get out there, you use your weapons, and you rip Washington apart. You hunt down the billionaires, the bank bosses, the CEOs, the scumbags and the liars, the governors, the lobbyists, the senators, because they're all the same, and you hang them.
Just remember all the good the purge does.
Good morning, everyone. It's July 31st, 2018. Okay, so I did a video yesterday talking about how Republicans helped the Democrats reopen the border for people coming from Latin America. Now, I've been through YouTube and BitChute a couple times since then. And one thing that I didn't see in the video lists from anyone on the right is a video about how the Republican Party just helped the Democrats, the liberals, the neo-libs, whatever you want to call them, reopen the borders for these people to come through. And no one's saying a fucking word about it. I mean, this was one of the main issues Donald Trump ran on and won on, supposedly. And yet, not a fucking peep. Except for me. Where are the others? You would think that they would be covering this too, since you know, these people are going to be used as soldiers against us being specifically white people, to purge the country of white people, to reduce the population down to 100 million white people, 100 million people. But you know, no one's going to talk about it. But isn't it time for talking pretty much, you know, ending? I mean, why do we need to talk anymore? What's the point? What has talk gotten us? Nothing. I mean, sure, people know how we feel about stuff, but it's not doing any good. They don't give a fuck. I don't want my child being replaced. I don't want my child being indoctrinated to accept her people's fucking genocide or democide. That's what it really would be. Every genocide is actually a democide. So, what's the deal? How come I'm the only person, at least that I found, that covered how the Republican side of either the House or Senate, I forget which, or the Congress or the Senate, I forget which it was, but I'm pretty sure both bodies had to have something to do with it. So why did they open those borders back up? And why isn't anyone saying a fucking word about it? Well, I'm sure 3 or 4 days from now, somebody like Lisa Haven will cover it, but why is my channel so little and I catch really important shit right when it gets out and I talk about it. Maybe it's just the way I talk. I don't know. But maybe it's because I don't make fancy slideshows and shit. I don't know. I'm not sure why. But other people really need to be talking about how the American people, the ones that voted for Donald Trump, were just totally fucking backstabbed by the Republicans. And you think it's just an idiotic liberal problem. No, it's not. It's not a liberal problem. It is a backstabbing government problem. So, I don't know. I don't know. Since we're here already, I'm here at DC Clothesline. I got a couple of these open. Muslim migrant sexually assaults 13 German women because nobody told them. It was wrong. So apparently, Muslims don't have a sense of right and wrong. If they have to be told sexually assaulting is wrong, then this is another great example of how a culture, one culture is better than another culture. These women were uncovered meat, veilless, burqaless, out and about, with no male guardian, according to Islamic teachings. He is well within his rights. Yeah. There's your Islamic teaching right there. And here's more about the UN, which, you know, Americans, especially those leaning towards the conservative side, should have burnt that fucking place down a long time ago. But it's been allowed to grow and grow into some massive behemoth where and these people in the UN go around the world sexually assaulting children and anybody else they decide they want to lay with. So the sites I write for are already being targeted by Facebook and Google with demonetization and losing ranking in search engines, but I refuse to be silent when so much is at stake here. Now, the United Nations, an anti-American, anti-Christian organization, has always been run by totalitarians, is now targeting media outlets that are exposing the truth about the invasion of Muslim migrants and the terror, crimes, and violence they bring with them. And yeah, it's all of them. It's the ones from, mostly the ones from sub-Saharan Africa. They are the worst fucking people to bring into your country. I know you've seen some of the footage. These people are fucking... and they're terrible. And, you know, they shit all over the place. They leave trash. I mean, they're as bad as the heroin addicts out there in San Francisco, if not worse. I mean, at least the heroin addicts do their fucking smack and leave people alone afterwards. Now, these people, they rape, pillage, assault, kill, and the people of the various countries these assholes have been sent to are expected by their loving government to do nothing about it. And if they do something about it, they are the ones put into prison, not the Muslim. Or not the migrant. 85-year-old Ruth Bader Ginsburg wants to serve at least 5 more years, but is she mentally fit to do so? No, that fucking old bat isn't mentally fit to wipe her own ass. You would think that her being this close to 100 years old, she would have a little more sense, but no. No, she's probably one of the most evil, disgusting Supreme Court justices we've ever had, but she wants to serve 5 more years, at least. Violence erupts for the second time in 4 nights at Trump Hollywood star. Now, there's people out there in Hollywood who feel that it's their duty to protect some stupid star on, I think it's Hollywood Boulevard. I'm not sure on that, but they think it's their duty to protect Donald Trump's star as if it's some big deal. But maybe this is where the Civil War will start. It could be. I mean, think about it. These guys start fighting. One of them pull a gun, opens fire, bam, that's it. You know, one thing after another. Hopefully it starts, because I'm getting tired of living this way. I'd rather my kid grow up in a war-torn free country than a solidly, you know, a beautiful nation that's under the heavy thumb of slavery. I'd rather live in Syria, a country that's been destroyed by us, and be free, than I'd rather do that than live in a country that's nicely put together, a great infrastructure, all that, and have the heavy hand of the state constantly pushing down on you. I'd rather live without electricity and modern appliances than to have the thumb of the state constantly pressed down on you. So, I mean, these people are really fucking fanatical. I mean, it's just like, you know, they're fighting over religion. I guess they are, in a way, and I covered that yesterday. Here's a good one for you. Transgender woman kills her own grandmother, or his own grandmother, with a knife. Media decides she's a man, or she's a he. Oh no, she's a pretty convincing woman. I mean, she's, or he looks real feminine. I'm not so sure that I would necessarily screw her if I saw her in a bar, but still, you know, I mean, just think about it. Some poor bastard picks up what he thinks is a woman, he gets home, and she got a drooping wang. And this thing would end up just like the grandmother he just killed. So, when is a transgender woman not a woman? Apparently, when she kills her own grandmother, at which point she magically returns to being a he. A 30-year-old Arizona man was arrested after police said he killed his grandmother because he was tired of caring for her. Officers arrived at an apartment complex in Chandler earlier Sunday morning and found 81-year-old Helen Smith dead. Her grandmother, or her grandson, Brandon Smith, was later arrested and charged with first-degree murder in connection with her death. According to Chandler police, Brandon was frustrated that he was the only one in the family taking care of Helen, who suffered from dementia. So, now, I'm going to tell you something a little bit personal about myself. I can relate to Brandon's frustrations because I have a mother who was estranged most of my life, and all of a sudden I was put in charge of her medical decisions and all that crap. I don't want to do it. I don't even know her, but I have to. So, okay, and this is where I'm going to end this one. A permanent emergency. Trump becomes the third president to renew extraordinary post-9/11 powers. So, I keep telling you all that he is pretty much the same as the rest of them. So, President Trump has become the third president to renew a post-9/11 emergency proclamation stretching what was supposed to be a temporary state of national emergency after the 2001 terror attacks into its 17th year. But the ongoing effects of that perpetual emergency aren't immediately clear because the executive branch has ignored a law requiring it to report to Congress every 6 months on how much the president has spent under those extraordinary powers, USA Today has found. Exactly 16 years ago, Thursday, President Bush signed Proclamation 7463, giving himself sweeping powers to mobilize the military in the days following terrorist attacks that crashed planes into the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and a Pennsylvania field. It allowed him to call up National Guard and Reserve troops, hire and fire military officers, and bypass limits on the numbers of generals that could serve. President Bush and Obama renewed that emergency each year, and on Wednesday, Trump published a now routine notice in the Federal Register extending the emergency for the 16th time, explaining simply that the terrorist threat continues. But as Trump extends the emergency into a third presidential administration, legal experts say a review of those powers is long overdue. So, tell me exactly, how is he any different? Through the words he speaks? I mean, there's so many people out there that swear that he's kept his word, and he might have on a few things. I mean, he really don't have a choice in that matter, but is he keeping his word on the key things? All the people on the right, they're boasting the economy is doing so much better when it's not. How is he any different than the rest? Please do tell me. I would like to know. Till next time, kill the state, live free.